I gotta say, I feel like this is a weird siege layout, but it is extremely in favor of the defense. I mean, obviously, most of these things are in favor of the defense, but still. Hello and welcome back to the last days, and when we left off, we destroyed Erebor itself and eliminated the first of many other factions. I'm actually thinking that was actually the first ever faction that has been eliminated, which is quite surprising because I actually thought that the Corsairs might be the first to be eliminated because they are all the way down there, basically by themselves, and Gondor could quite easily overwhelm them. At least, that's what their combat strength says at the moment, because if you take a look at their combat strength, you can see the Corsairs. Where are they, actually? Umbar? Is that them? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're 2,200, basically, almost. And you can see here that factions are normally besieged when below 4,200, so they're very easily able to be attacked. Mount Gundabad is also unmatched. Rune is unmatched, which is actually insane how much power both of those factions have gained. And, well, look at what we got going on here. Yeah, we got another little siege going on. And I'm actually thinking we're going to go in to Dale and help out Mr. Jarl Helkaroth. So let's see what we can do here. Technically, I should have waited a little bit longer to head in because, let's face it, you don't really want all of your units to, well, take the full brunt of the attack, but I'm going to head in nevertheless because I feel like being a little bit, shall we say, a little bit selfless today. I feel like being a little bit more, you know, shall we say, a little bit more supportive, because usually I'm going to be allowing the AI to take the full brunt of the attack because, let's face it, they can do that and very easily then restore their forces without too many difficulties, and I obviously have a little bit of a more difficult time, shall we say, in getting those units back. Okay, I'm going to be a little bit careful here. This is problematic. Hello, sir. Good work. Good work. Yes, please move into my range. I very much appreciate you doing such a thing. Thank you. Thank you. Perfect. These guys are also moving into my range as well. This is actually hilarious. I don't really want to move by right now because if I move by, I'm going to get massacred. So basically, me standing here is pretty good. You can move forward, guys. Okay, fine. I'm just going to shoot you then. I'm actually really surprised that they are literally just standing here. I am... What? Are they not wanting to run? Or anything? Okay, this is interesting. Okay, maybe if I don't say anything about it, they will just ignore me. They'll just continue to ignore me. And maybe... Oh, no. Hello there. Alright. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There's the first of the retaliations. And going to be a little bit sneaky. Boom. Yeah. Oh, that is amazing. That's really cool. Okay, wait a minute. Can I pick up these arrows? Yes, I can. Oh, yeah. Now I have 25 arrows once again. That's fantastic. Let's see if I can get a couple of extra kills here just by sniping. Unfortunately, I have killed one of my own men. Oh, another one. Yeah, it's my bad. Okay. Yeah, that's the main problem when you have people coming by on the ladder. You can't actually see them until their hitbox is inside your own character model. And as a result, it kind of makes things a little bit difficult. But thankfully, we are now in a situation where I can maybe help out. And once again, go on the slaughter. Go on the offensive. As much as I possibly want to. Let's do this. Nice. Take him down. There we go. I seem to have become a slightly better player in this game for some reason. Usually, I will die almost instantaneously upon entering a siege such as this, but apparently that has changed for some reason. I don't know why that is. I guess it's because we were just a little bit luckier this time to notice that there were a couple of siege ladders on the left flank. And going up there definitely made more of a difference to our strategy and indeed just basically increased our survivability tenfold, because otherwise we would have had to go in through the main gate and, well, I think you know how that turns out. It doesn't really turn out that well, let's just say that, so it's really quite nice to see what's actually happening in a different way, you know, taking a different path, or the path less traveled, as they may say. That's actually seeming to be much better than normal, so I'm pretty happy with this. Oh, new enemies have arrived. Okay, hello. I will try to murder. Oh, there's brother right there. Okay, hopefully he's not going to die. Take him down. There we go. Thank you. I will take all of these down as much as I possibly can. Slaughter. Slaughter. Yes. Perfect. And there we go. Perfect. Alright, so, is that it? Is that literally... No, that's not it. Okay, so we've eliminated 234. I believe they have another 100 units still in reserve to reinforce their ranks, and hopefully that's going to, well, dwindle relatively quickly. How many... Oh, are you... Look at this! What is actually going on here? What is going on here with my casualty rating? Just look at this. I have 6 wounded and 27 dead. I have no idea why that always happens. It literally every single time I go into a siege that happens. I'm wondering whether the mod disables surgery skill or something like that, because I actually have 7 in surgery as far as I'm aware, or maybe even 8 in surgery, and that should provide me with about... well, maybe a base value of about 30% or maybe something like that, maybe 32%, and then obviously the base value of units surviving is somewhat significant as well, so maybe like another 20% on top of that, which is really weird. I feel like it's really weird that we're not... I don't know, we're not able to sort of protect ourselves that much. But, yeah, that seems to be the case. Really weird. Really, really strange. I don't know why we always suffer so many casualties, but I suppose it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because as long as we achieve victory, as long as we destroy the men of Dale, that is all that matters in the end. So let's see if we can maybe do something here. I'm going to bring out my bow once more. I think I can probably do quite well here with it if my accuracy would not... Are you serious? Look at this. I'm aiming right at his head, but it's because of the crosshair. Crosshair's being a bit weird. There's another guy right there. Brodder is taking care of him. Wow, Brodder is actually an absolute monster. I don't know whether you've seen him in combat so far, but he has a two-handed axe, and he seems to be almost unstoppable. I have no idea how much his HP is at the moment, but it seems to me like he's just shrugging off the damage. He's literally just shrugging it off and being like, it's merely a flesh wound, and so on and so forth. Or if you want to go for a really old reference, you could say, I ain't got time to bleed, or something along those lines. Obviously, that particular character and reference is not in a British accent by any means, but that's basically all I can do. So there you go. I'm very skilled, as you may notice. Yes, very good. But anyway, the point is, that, I believe, is that. I don't think Dale has anything else to really show us. I'm going to still try to snipe a couple of them. Very nice. Oh, look at that. What? What? 100%? 100% accuracy from down the slope here? I guess height advantage really does make a massive difference. But there you go. Wow, pretty impressive. We were able to get 100% headshots from there, because, you know, you can see that the crosshair is kind of a bit... It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird to use, because sometimes it's really, really tight and accurate, and other times it's kind of wide and difficult to sort of get working properly. Can I jump up here? I gotta be really careful. There we go. Okay, yeah, there was some guy down there in the wall, as you can see right there. I was actually going to jump down there if I could prevent myself from falling into the canal or something. But yeah, there you go. That is it. 321 rank points, and we have been promoted once again. Obviously, the promotion only counts now for army size increases. Anything else is basically... well, not really that important, but yeah, now we're going to be taking a whole bunch of really, really nice units. Bear in mind that I obviously lost a huge amount, so I will probably end up taking most of these, if not all of them, actually. Yeah, it seems like I am actually going to be taking all of them, which is amusing to me. Which one's better? Tribal warriors are actually better by the looks of things. Okay, so there you go. We'll just leave that. Good quality metal scraps are always decent. We can sell those for some amount, and there you go. We actually capture it. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, so yeah, I had no idea that Dale actually becomes captured. I thought that Dale you know, gets destroyed when you complete the siege. But this is very cool because now this literally means that I can go straight into here and boom, I can literally take outriders if I want to. You know, I can take a huge amount of units here, and yeah, so that's pretty amazing. That is pretty amazing. Okay, so we also have some beef here that we're probably going to be taking. I have some beef up here. That's day-old beef. This is rotten beef. Hilariously enough, rotten beef still provides me with a little bit of party morale. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but apparently it does. And we're just going to be selling a bunch of this, get a little bit more of that, and then we are good. I just want to take a look and see if I can maybe get some better boots. Yeah, these are better boots actually, so I will indeed be taking those. And can we get anything else that's really, really good? Oh, what about this? Okay, now this is looking pretty menacing. I mean, look at this right now. This is what I'm currently using. 46 cutting damage, 35 piercing damage, 92 speed, 102 reach. This has the exact same speed. It has less reach, which might make it a little bit easier to wield, and it has almost exactly the same stats otherwise. 46 cutting, 35 piercing. So it very much depends on what you want to use. I suppose we'll just try it out and see how it is. Basically, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't, you know. I mean, it's there, and we have the money, and we might as well. So why not? Let's give it a go. Anyway, let's level up a couple of people before we head onward. And I'm actually not entirely sure who we should focus on next. Probably the Woodland realm, right? Yeah, probably the Woodland realm. That seems to be the most logical next opponent to go for. And maybe I can take some raiders. Yeah, I'd like to take these raiders actually, and maybe these raiders along with me. So maybe I can speak to them. There we go. Follow me. Thank you. Oh, why do you need us? You have everyone you need? Oh, okay. So apparently I can only have one quote-unquote raiding party. I mean, I already have a war party here, but I actually thought I'd be able to have one war party, 2 raider parties, and then 4 scout parties or something like that. But there you go. Dale is no more, defeated by the forces of Rune and Mount Gundabad. Actually, Gundabad was not actually there. Oh, the Rune war party has stopped following me. Well, I'm actually quite happy about that, because they only had 30 units, and usually war parties have about 60 to 80 units. So it would be nice if we could maybe get one of those to join me, because then I'll have about 200 total units to come with me into sieges and things like that. All right, so what's actually going on here? 453 units in Thranduil's halls, and I'm not entirely sure where the Guardians of the Forest party have gone. Yeah, that's obviously something that we need to find out. I'm actually wondering what Gundabad is doing right now, because they could potentially attack the Woodland realm. I think that would probably be the best course of action to take right now. I don't know why they're not, but okay. I mean, I can't really say to them to do something, can I? I mean, it's not my place to say that, but I guess I have a lot of influence, so I might be able to. Aha, here we go. Woodsman Village has now been besieged. This is actually pointless, because if they would just besiege Bjorn's house, which I believe is the capital, then they would be able to more than likely destroy it, and indeed destroy the faction, because if you destroy the heart of a particular, you know, a particular faction, then they all get destroyed. So it basically makes no difference. Anyway, let's move over here. There is actually a war party here too, so if a number of them survive, it would be quite nice to maybe tell them to follow me or something like that. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, here we go. So, where are the enemies? Okay, so they're over there. This is a fantastic battlefield for us. I mean, really, I can't stress that enough, to be honest. Because just look at how flat it is. It even has some slight advantages in terms of some of the hills in and around the area. So basically, if you want to, you can just place all your horse archers or whoever you have on the top of those hills, and then they're going to have an overwhelming advantage just for that small amount of time before the enemy close in. And I'm not entirely sure what to do right now. I'm thinking we're actually going to be a little bit patient here, and basically what that means is just let those guys walk along. You see these guys right here? Yeah, just let those guys walk along and see what is actually going to happen. Because we obviously do not want to go in there and take massive casualties in such a... Well, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it and hopefully not jinx myself, but this is a pretty easy battle. It's pretty easy, okay? This is not something I'm too afraid of, but I am a little bit afraid of making an assumption that may result in many casualties. So I'm playing it a little bit more cautiously here, because my friends from the AI, allied AI, they're not really doing much, which is a little bit strange. I'm not entirely sure why they've only sent to the trolls, but I assume the trolls are just automatically told to move forward. I might have poked the hornet's nest, so to speak. Yes, that's what I might have done. Okay, now let's just try to be very, very careful about the two-handed axes. The two-handed axes will slaughter me if I allow them to. I do have the new mangler as well, so it might make sense for me to use that a little bit. I mean, I'm looking forward to using that. Anyway, there's the trolls. They've now gone in. Oh, it seems like the orcs are now charging in as well, so that's actually quite nice. And let's see if I can maybe do some damage with this. Oh, nice. Oh, it's actually, yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess I can see why it's quite fun to use. It looks fun, at the very least. This particular weapon looks really fun, and I personally feel like it has a little bit more personality to it, rather than just some random sword. And obviously it has exactly the same damage and exactly the same speed, and the only thing that I lose a little bit is reach, which of course, while being a mounted unit, is pretty important. You know, reach is always important to be able to make sure that you hit your target most of the time as you're charging by. It's not the be-all end-all, and I actually quite like this this look. I feel like it looks very rune, you know what I mean? It looks very rune, and that's kind of what you want out of a weapon, especially considering, just look at all these guys running around right now. These war riders, the warlords and the noble riders and so on and so forth, they all look kind of, I'm not too sure what to say. Evil, there we go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they all look kind of evil, and that's the reason why having an evil-looking, kind of grievous weapon seems kind of fun to me. Anyway, there you go. We've actually increased our rank points with Mount Gundabad. It basically makes no difference whatsoever, though, because, as I've said before, there is going to be a little bit of a twist later on, and I'm not entirely sure. Oh, hello! That is the first time I've seen something like this. This is actually really, really cool. Okay, so obviously I've never played as the Vale of Anduin, or the Bjornings as they used to be known. I've never played as these guys, so I have no idea what kinds of magical armor they're going to have, but this guy apparently had something that gives him a bonus to strength. I don't know how much that's going to give him, because it doesn't say, but it also scales with wildcraft, which I gotta say I'm actually kind of intrigued by. You know what? I'm gonna use it, but only for science. I'm not gonna use it for the entirety of the series or anything like that. I'm just going to have a look and see what it actually gives us. So let me actually just speak to this Rune War Party real quick, because as I said, I'd like them to follow me. There we go. Okay, yes, follow me. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's take a look. I have 24 strength right now, so let's have a look and see how much we actually have now. There you go. You've gained strength, gaining Bjorning Chieftain's Tunic. Okay, now let's see. I have 24. Is it because I have 0 in Wildcraft? I think that's probably it. Okay, now here's the thing. Theoretically, if I had more in Wildcraft, so let's say I had 5 in Wildcraft or something like that, and it scales 1-for-1 in terms of its ratio, this is possibly one of the most powerful items in the game. Dependent on the scaling, of course. But as it stands right now, it's giving me nothing because I have nothing in Wildcraft, of course, which is a shame, because I actually think that it looks really, really cool. It is light armor as well, so it's going to make me move much, much quicker. So if I was obviously not on a mount or anything like that, then having light armor would really make a huge difference to my speed. And it kind of makes me kind of makes me want to try out the Beyondings a little bit. It wants me to, you know, I'm kind of intrigued by this particular item now. So I'm not entirely sure. Maybe for a future series at some point or another. It might be kind of fun, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, we're going to just level up a couple of people here, and no doubt they are going to begin the siege relatively soon. I'm hopeful that they'll begin the siege in the daytime, because let's face it, we really don't want to do this in the night, do we? No. Okay, oh, look at that. Isengard's having problems. Look at this. They're fair. I can't believe that. I'm actually really surprised. Okay, this might be actually kind of bad. If Isengard gets destroyed before Rohan and Gondor, I mean, literally, they haven't lost anything. Look at this. I think there definitely was a little bit of tweaking being done by the mod developers, because in my previous two series, Gondor was always on the back foot. They were always the ones getting picked on again and again and again, and Mordor was the most powerful in that area almost every time. Isengard did need a little bit of a push, but didn't really need that much assistance dealing with Rohan, so this is actually kind of interesting. And I'm not entirely sure how it's going to go, but so far Isengard hasn't really lost anything either, so I suppose it's kind of like a bit of a stalemate. I mean, let me just take a quick look at Rohan's strength. Oh, they're at 4,100. Gondor is at 4,200. Isengard, as you can see, is basically just below 3,000. Mordor might be a match for both Gondor and Rohan, but it's looking pretty bad for them as well, so we'll see. We'll see. Ah, there we go. They've actually gone in. All right, let's do this. Approach the siege camp. Let's go right on in here. As I said, I really wish that this was actually the other area. Bjorn's house. I feel like that would be so much more useful. I'm not entirely sure why they didn't decide to go in there, but alright. Anyway, let's just tell my people to charge in. I assume that they may have a couple of prisoners, but they probably won't have too many. And wow, there's a lot of people up there. This is actually going to be kind of unfortunate. If I get hit by a bunch of these, I'm dead, pretty much. So, got to be a little bit careful here. I feel like I'm not hitting them. Is there an invisible wall there or something? That might be the case. Anyway, there's level 23. Nice. Level 23. Thank you very much. And I'm going to be looking forward to spending those points, that's for sure. Anyway, let's get in here. This is, I gotta say, I feel like this is a weird siege layout. But it is extremely in favor of the defense. I mean, obviously, most of these things are in favor of the defense, but still. This is actually kind of crazy how much it is. I mean, just look at the kill box that is being formed here. Just so many archers almost all over the place. Pretty much just causing a huge amount of casualties without any effort whatsoever. And we're just going to try and see if I can maybe do some damage with my two-handed here. I do need to level up my two-handed, but bear in mind that the Bjornings or Veil of Anduin units, they're very good at using two-handed. Oh yes, they are. They are very good at that. So I am a little bit worried about going toe-to-toe with them, to be honest. They usually are pretty good at what they do. Okay, so my guys are kind of being a little bit careful here. Ah, is that a quiver? That's a quiver. Thank you. Very good. Let's just try and take out a couple more people. There we go. Try and take out that guy. Just basically shoot a bunch. Just shoot a bunch. I don't really care who I hit as long as I hit someone. And that's pretty much it. And that's exactly the reason why you don't want to go toe-to-toe with these guys. Did you happen to notice what actually happened there? Okay, so if you didn't notice, basically what happened was the hero units of various factions actually have the ability to absorb some damage from incoming attacks. And this particular hero unit was able to do that with my attack, because I obviously either did not enough damage to be able to penetrate the damage absorb that they have, or it was just too early on in the fight to really wear them down. You do need to wear them down, or you need to deal enough damage to them for that damage absorb to go away. And that was the problem. So I swung ahead of them, by the way. I swung ahead of them, and I was fully expecting them to be staggered or a little bit stunned by the two-handed swing, because that's obviously what you're going to expect from that kind of action. However, because of the damage absorb, they did not get staggered, and as a result, they were able to swing through with their two-handed and kill me. So there you go. That was, not exactly great. Not exactly great, but I guess I can't really do much about it. You know, I was not aware that that was actually a hero unit. I should have been a little bit more wary that there would probably be some enemy vassals here, but I thought it was literally just one of those regular two-handed wielding units, and I didn't need to worry too much about that. Has that unit been killed now? Because I'm not seeing them get any kills. No. It seems like they have been killed. I completely missed that. Or have they? There's a lot of units still to go here. I mean, we've lost 33 units. How many do the enemy have in here even? I mean, that's the point. I have no idea. I thought they only had about 150, but it's quite clear that they have much more than that. So I'm very surprised. But this is going extremely well for them, all things considered. Let's actually just take a quick look. Yeah, this is actually going much, much better than I anticipated. It might even come down to my units alone actually being the main driving force behind this victory, which is going to be very surprising indeed. Usually I am merely the support, and I usually don't really have that much of an impact. I mean, yeah, you know, I'll be able to kill a handful of units here and there. Like, for example, in the Dale Siege, I believe I killed actually upwards of 70 units, which is pretty... Well, I don't know, pretty surprising to me, to be honest. But anyway, the point is, yeah, that doesn't happen all the time, so generally I don't really expect it. There's a lot of people firing here. Thankfully, there's a ladder. If they knew what was good for them, they'd basically just kick this ladder down and then prevent anyone from going up there, but obviously they're not going to do that. Anyway, I think we're good. Yeah, okay, so allies, as you can quite clearly tell, there's only 4 of them remaining. Only 4 allies remaining, 3 allies remaining now, actually, and 49 of our own units still alive, and they are the ones that will have to deal with the remaining 7 enemies, 6, and counting now. So that is very interesting to me. Usually that is not the case, as I said. So, wow, that's pretty impressive. I actually thought that they would be able to take this without too many difficulties whatsoever, and I'm talking about Gundabad here. I thought they would need no assistance, but they did. Very much so, in fact. But there you go. We gain 288 rank points, and we gain another rank with Gundabad. I mean, it basically makes no difference whatsoever. Pretty much what you want to do is, if you want to make the most out of the various magical items and rewards and so on that you would get from ranking up with people, is you would go to do all of these things ahead of time with all of these different factions way before you get into actually besieging things. But I was wanting to focus quite heavily on Rune because I had prior knowledge about what was actually going to happen later on in the game, and I kind of wanted to just make them as powerful as possible, pretty much. That was all I was really thinking about at that point. But obviously it could be, you know, you can basically play however you want, obviously, and in general I would definitely recommend doing that, because that is where the fun is, you know. That is where the fun is, you know. Generally, the player choice is one of the strongest aspects of Mount and Blade, and that's exactly the reason why I very much enjoy it. Anyway, let's see what we can actually do here. I'm thinking we're probably going to go for another point in Trainer, and then we're going to go for another point in Pathfinding. Then we're going to get some Archery. I mean, Archery, does that actually make any difference to her? Is she using... Oh, she's using Throwing Axes. Okay, I probably should have spec'd that. Okay, now let's see. Iron Hills Infantry? Nope, this one was too weak. Hardened dwarf? Yep, there we go. Okay, there we are. Nice. Now we've got 2 werewolves. That's fantastic. Alright, so otherwise what we want to do is just level up a couple of people. We've got some more Warriors of the Ox. They're very, very good Berserker units, so they're going to be hopefully heading in there and doing massive damage, or as much damage as they possibly can do. And now we've got to decide. Now we've got a bit of a difficult decision on our hands, because I actually wanted to get to 24 strength and 18 agility. That was my primary goal for the most part. And now that I'm there, I have no idea what else to go for. I suppose I should probably go for leadership, right? Because I feel like later on down the line, it would probably be much more useful to be able to recruit higher tier units from your home bases and things like that. So I think I'm going to spec into charisma here, and I'm thinking we're probably going to be specing into something like not shield. I think we have enough shield personally. I don't think we're really going to be using it that often anyway. I think power strike's pretty good right now. I can kill most people with 1 hit, with the exception of the vassal units, of course. I think I'm actually going to be speccing into Iron Flesh. I know, it seems like a bit of a weird decision, and usually this is probably the worst decision you can make. In Warband, Iron Flesh is not that good, unless you have like 5 or 10 in Iron Flesh just from the get-go to sort of buffer your HP a little bit, but 1 point in it only gives you 2 HP, but I kind of want to survive a little bit more, and if I can survive with at least 1 or 2 HP, then that's going to have made a difference, and I can still continue to deal damage at that point. So hopefully that's going to happen. If it doesn't, then so be it, you know. I mean, no skin off my nose, really. I'm just trying to make the most value as possible, and I'm looking at the other things, and I'm thinking to myself, well, there's not really that much else that I want to take. So that's kind of where my thinking is coming from there. Anyway, seems like shall we say, Bjorn's house is about to be destroyed. So yeah, look at this. Kusalak, Allworth, and the other rune vassals are now getting ready to besiege Bjorn's house. And we are going to be ending this episode off here. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.